Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about the new Miles Morales, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Chance. Hi.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Chance. How is everyone doing this fine evening? How are you doing today, Chance?
I'm doing pretty good. Having a good weekend.
That's good to hear. How about you, Steven? How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Got a couple of small victories, so it's all good.
A couple of small victories. Okay. Okay. How about you, Brad? How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
I'm glad to hear that. If the listeners cannot tell, am a little sick, but just a little bit. I'll be fine, but you could probably hear it in my voice. But I'm back in Charleston, West Virginia. So I'm home and happy to be home. Okay. Also, Brad, I have a dumb question that I'm asking because I'm in the process of talking and trying to look this up. What is the new Miles Morales' official name? Because I just
Uh,
called him new Miles Morales.
he is Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider. I was looking in the M's. Man, I'm an idiot, everybody. Okay, Ultimate Spider-Man. That is who we are doing today. Okay. Well, let's talk about games that, or I should say, tournaments that are coming up in the near future. Coming up on November the 8th, there is a tournament at Recess Games in North Olmsted, Ohio. This is an Appalachian Cup qualifier, and I can speak highly of the store. The store is a very nice space, and I will be attending. Did they expand the size of this
They
event,
did. They added
Brad?
4 spots and it filled up very quickly.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it is again full.
I'm pretty sure that's
Sorry
correct.
about that, listeners. But I am looking forward to attending. This should be a lot of fun. It is going to be like, I think it's a 4 hour or 4.5 hour drive. It will be a pretty long drive for us. So we have to get rolling early in the morning. But we will be there and we will represent Charleston to the best of our abilities. Then, coming up on the 15th of November, there is a tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. This is our local game store. This is just a local tournament. It will likely be a very small event, but we'll have a lot of fun. We'll throw some dice and we'll play some games. Then, on the 22nd of November, there is going to be a tournament at Fabricators Forge in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is Bryce's local store. He is running an affiliation game, an affiliation tournament. And what that means is that every single model that you bring must be affiliated and with whatever affiliation you are playing. Oh, is that correct,
Yeah, and you can only play
Brad?
one affiliation.
I was
So,
gonna ask, like, I know that Borka recently played Defenders and Midnight Suns, and every single model was both a Defender and a Midnight Sun. Like,
yeah.
there are 10 models that cross over, and he played every single one of those models. So, could he, in theory, do that, or do you
No.
have to just pick? Okay, you cannot do that.
Bryce said in when he posted the event that you play one affiliation all day.
Okay, well, there you go, everyone. Uh, that is an affiliation tournament, so if you are planning to attend, be prepared to follow those rules. Okay, those are the events that are coming up in the near future. Uh, all right, let's talk about games that we've played recently. I have not played any games recently because I am just recently back from being uh, in Louisiana, but Chance, I know that you have some games that you've played, and I want to hear about them. So, why don't you talk about the games that you have played recently?
Yeah. So recently there was a 4 round event at Old School Gaming. I think it's in Maumee, Ohio. I had a lot of fun going there. I managed to get the new web stuff for my store in time. I feverishly built them Friday night and had them together. So I put some games of the new Web Warriors stuff down. I did 4 rounds there. I managed to go 4-0. It wasn't like a rated tournament or anything, but I did pretty well with them. I had a game against Defenders, a game against Brotherhood, game against Asgard, and then a game against Webs at the end of the day. I think I played the new leadership, in quotes, the card, twice, and then I played ASM twice. And I am a big fan of the new stuff that came in those boxes. The first one against the Defenders, I played on, I think it was Riot Scrolls. So this is one of the ones I chose to play ASM on. Any of these wide maps, I think the ASM leadership is pretty good. I noticed he had models like King T and Shang in his Defenders roster, and they scared me. So my solution to dealing with them is I was just going to put the slow condition and be where they weren't. And it worked out pretty well for Shang. He didn't bring King T'Challa, but it just ended up being a rotation game around the points, and I was slowing models that I didn't want to deal with and hoping they couldn't keep up. And for the most part, they can't because the webs are pretty fast. The ASM leadership, it feels a lot better now. Not even because the Web Warriors have more access to slow. A lot of the new Web Warriors that came out in these new packs just have better power economies. They make power so much easier, so they can afford to spend that one just to slow someone and walk away. And that's really what happened there. I will say there was a scary moment. Echo, the new model he brought, is terrifying. Threw a dagger at ASM, and none of my defensive tech worked because it was outside 4 for the quips. And I just took 4 damage from a dagger, and then she ran up and kicked me, and I went down. But beyond that, yeah. Oh no, new Echo seems tailor made for making webs. A little bit sad, but
Okay.
she seems really good. Her play pattern is excellent. As long as she gets her 1 power to turn to start, she can do basically 2 attacks on anyone within range 4, and it's pretty scary. And her Death Dancer seems really efficient. Second game, I played into Brotherhood. This one I played the new card, and I had Ultimate Spider-Man as a star player for that one. The dude moves so fast. My list is 9 Web Warriors and then Wong, just so that I can get turn 1 web swings. And we were playing on, I think this one was also on Riots. So he had placed someone on their back point, and just so that he didn't score the point, I had Miles walk long, place 3, and that put me in range 3 to make an attack onto his avalanche. And I got the wild trigger to pull him off the point and slow him, and I pulled him into a building so he didn't move that far forward. And then when Miles, and inevitably Magneto walked up and dazed him, but he was then stranded kind of by that back D. At the start of my turn, I just had Miles leave. And again, he walks long, so I think I web swinged him to a different point, had him kick Gambit or Toad, and then ran back to safety. And he's just so fast. Later on in the game, when I needed to daze a couple models, I spendered into Avalanche, who didn't have recal money because Magneto was nearby and had 2 health left. Magneto could have recaled, so I didn't want to hit him with it. But I managed to get the lightning arc trigger that dazed him, and then also dazed Avalanche with the attack. And those are some highlights from that one.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Then round 3, I played into Asgard. This one was on Scoundrels. This one I had. I wish I could say it was any of the new models. 2099 has been in every game I played to that time. I'm pretty sure at this point 2099, for me at least, is in every game piece. The dude rules. But that game was taken over mostly by Black Cat. She safe grabbed a point with Cat and the Spider, then held down 2 points for most of the game, and on the pivotal turn of the game, started in range, staggered Jane Foster with Troublemaker, moved to range 3 of Zemo, then staggered Zemo with a second Troublemaker, and then because I got the Wild Trigger and the Skull, moved Small away, and then blipped back onto the other point. And it was just the amount of action denial. It was obscene, and all of the bouncing out. And then it was also my opponent was trying to play around Silk's range bands to not trigger the tricks and traps as much. But I don't know. I think you kind of just have to ignore it as long as you're not fighting Silk. You can mostly ignore it. Then round 4 was into a Web's Mirrors. And this is another one that I played ASM leadership. He picked 16 threat. We were on Cosmic Vault and Samples. I had a goofy strategy for Web's Mirrors. I know he's playing the Miles Webs, like the 3-threat Miles. I brought Clone Saga in my list.
Okay. Yep.
And then I specifically went 4 wide so that I would have priority all game. And so turn 1, I waited to see where his Miles ended up, and because Miles is so fast, I just double walked him and stood next to his Miles. And then at the top of with ultimate, yeah, because he moves long twice. Top of the turn, I have 2 power. I play Clone Saga on my Miles. I get to reroll all my dice and skulls. I kick him, and then I get 2 power, and I webline kick him with the web swing, and I put him down before he gets to activate. And then from there, I don't care what happens. His Baron Zemo flubbed some rolls and didn't manage to take Miles down, which was cool. And then top of 3, I play all webbed up. And because I'm ASM leadership, even though that's another reason I like ASM leadership, it's for the mirror. Other webs hate being slowed, and webs have like an anti-tech card for it. If they play weak cakes, they lose all the slows. As long as you played all webbed up that turn, I think it lasts the turn. It doesn't have to do anything with the models that you slowed with the card. So
correct.
Since most of the webs now have good power economy, it doesn't matter if you played weak cakes to remove the slow. They're just going to press the button. They'll pay 1 power. You're slowed again, and then they'll kick you with the extra dice. And that's what happened. I all webbed up with an ASM that I had moved close by. Miles web swinged, kicked, reroll any, one-shot his Miles. So top of 3, his leadership was off the board. And then he Master Venom blasted Baron Zemo and got lucky and zapped him unconscious.
Okay.
It was great. Yeah. So that was
Ultimate.
Go ahead.
Ultimate really did amazing things for you this tournament, it sounds like.
Yeah, in the games that I brought him, he was very good. He does the slow and pull is super good. He's so fast. I don't think he's nearly as good if you don't bring Wong. That turn 1 web swing is nasty, but then he was also my plan for the other webs so that I can bully Mini Miles.
Yep. Yep. He's your answer to Miles Morales. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's just a bigger, better Miles Morales.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that. I will have more questions for you later involving the Spider-Men. But, all right, well, Brad, do you have any games that you've played recently that you want to talk about?
I did not get to play MCP this week, but I did play a couple games of Halo Flashpoint, and it was fun. And that's really all.
Is this going to be the new thing? Is Halo Flash?
No.
I mean, listen,
No. It's Andrew and Matt were there playing when I got there. Memphis was there. Brandon came in. Brandon got his stuff out and played Memphis. So I kind of sat around for a little bit, and then I played Halo Flashpoint because other people were already playing MCP. I brought my MCP stuff in to play, and it just didn't happen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's not your fault. It's not like you didn't show up.
Well, did you enjoy playing Halo?
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay. Well, Steven, do you have any games that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I got some games in yesterday myself. So um, I went up to Firefly in Columbia, South Carolina, and I met up with Mary, one of the regulars there, and she was playing the new Web Warriors. And so we started off a game playing on Guardians and Rolls at 17. She brought Amazing Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, Black Cat, Zemo, and Ham. I countered with Goblin, Doc Ock 3, Lizard, Mysterio, and my new tech piece, which is Emma Frost. So,
Emma Frost in the Spider Foes. Okay. Okay.
well, couple of reasons. One, if I go against somebody who has witty banter, they cannot use it. Or if I go against somebody who has damage reduction down to 0, they cannot use it. Um, Secondly, he has that nice little superpower that if somebody gets pushed, she can spend 2 and say, no, 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 they don't get pushed.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They're pulled. Yeah. So it's a little bit of tech. Plus, she has a range 4 mystic attack that if you get a wild and a hit, it will advance the person, which plays into my tricks and traps.
Uh-huh.
So uh, we played this game. It went to round 3. Score was 4-4 the first round. Just setting up. Nothing really big happened, to say the least. And then the score went to 6-10 in my favor, and then ended up 8-16. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So, Doc Ock got into Miles pretty hard. Those double wilds, I rolled one time on the 4 dice, and he got 3 wilds plus a crit. It
Oh,
was, yeah, it was,
so that's 7 damage right there.
yeah. I think I rolled into a skull or a blank. I forget which one, but it was just like, yeah, that's a lot of damage. And so that gave him a lot of power. And then Goblin had 3 power on him, and I did well laid plans, made the spiders drop everything. And then finished off a couple of spiders that way with the damage that came from well laid plans. So Emma got into Amazing Spider-Man, and he didn't like it that much, obviously. Um, Lizard, she just kept trying to kill Lizard, and she couldn't. And then Mysterio really didn't do anything this game, but like I said, it ended at round 3, and it was 16-8. So, and Mary's learning these people, and she was playing the card leadership, and she goes, "Oh, so Zemo can't bump." I'm like, "No, he can't." So he learned that. So we went on to our second game, where we played McCrans crystals and Spider Infected. Again, she played Amazing and Ultimate Spider-Man and Black Cat, but this time she brought Spider Noir and Daredevil. I had Goblin, Mysterio, Craven, Doc Ock 3, and Carnage this time. And then I brought my other tech piece, which is Wong.
Wong, he's ending up in a bunch of lists again. Is this going to be the new? I don't know. Is the meta swinging back towards Wong?
Well, 19's always been a funny spot for me because my 17, I believe, is good, but I just don't. I didn't have a good 2 to put
Right.
in there.
Yeah. Spider foes do not have a 2.
And since I'm running Doctor Strange and Strange gives him benefits, I thought, why not? Just on that off chance that that would happen at one point in time. So, like in a 20-point game, I would run the same list, but probably take out Carnage at that point in time and put Doctor Strange in. So,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
needless to say, we got into the game. First round was 5-4 in favor of Mary. And then in round 2, she had an amazing um, all webbed up turn, and she just started just dazing my models left and right. It was like, oh boy, here we go. And Miles got into Carnage with an energy attack and dazed him. Um, my Craven got dazed, my Doc got dazed, Wong got dazed. So she went up 12-6, and she was pretty comfortable at that point in time. But I came back, and this is where Carnage kind of went off, because Stereo had enough power at that point in time to do a Grand Illusion, which
Hmm.
covered a Noir, Black Cat, Ultimate, and Amazing. And then, of course, Carnage had enough power. So,
Does Grand Illusion work on Black Cat?
yeah.
I think it's a dice mod, isn't it?
It's
Mm.
still. Oh, that's a question. I don't. Hmm.
Isn't it
Uh,
modifying her dice, not your
It
dice?
modifies, yeah, it modifies her dice. That is correct. Yeah. That's why
Oh,
it's
that's what.
stereo.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but then Carnage was right in the middle of most of those, except for Miles. So I did Carnage rules, pulled Miles in, proceeded to daze him. I then did a uh, paint the
Paint
town
the
red,
town. Yeah.
and then I got into Spider Man and did him in. Uh, then I did a normal attack and took Cat down, and then I did another normal attack and did Noir in.
Oh my
So,
God. So he got 4 people in one round.
yep, sure did. And
That's wild.
I tell you what, the Grand Illusion and Carnage combo is a for real thing. So,
Okay.
um, but I went up. She was at 12 still, and I went up to 13. And then the game ended out 13-20, because I did a World Late Plans after that, and things just got kind of scary after that. So, needless to say, I'm thinking about a couple of tricks that can slow down that spider game, and Emma's one of them. She's great on a surprise web head turn, where she goes and then all my spiders go, spider foes
And
go against
oh,
somebody.
I see. When it's her activation. Okay. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
And then the other piece I'm thinking about is the old Loki character, um, who basically gives a hex within 4 to make those web lines a lot harder. So they cost 3 power instead of 2, because I know the spider's economy is very, very on a razor's edge.
You're
So,
talking about 4 threat Loki?
sure am.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay.
He is a
I'm
So,
ton of fun. He's a good
skeptical.
model. No, he's good.
so these are the splashes I'm thinking about bringing into, um, give a little counterplay to things that spider foes, I believe, are good, but they just don't have all the tools they need just yet. So, but needless,
That is true.
to say, I always approach these games, as you know, Fred. I always look at the second and third turns instead of the first turn. So I'm always making plays ahead of that, because the first turn is just getting in position to do things for the second and third turns, in my estimation. So, um, but then and Mary had to go, but then I got to play Matt, who had shown up. And he didn't bring any of his models, unfortunately. So I have my whole collection there. So I asked him what he wanted to run, and he said Midnight Suns. So I provided him with a Midnight Suns roster, all the cards that he would need, and we ended up on Deadly Meteors and Unexpected Guests at 17. And this is where I started to create my new list. There was an old list back in the day called Death and Taxes, which used models that would drain your power or make your power economy very inefficient. A lot of those models happen to be in Cabal. So I pulled out the original Red Skull, and a lot of models that mess with your power economy, such as, oh, Enchantress, Mysterio, Deadpool,
Loki.
Loki, so on and so forth. Mephisto's in this list too. So, um, so he ended up on his 17 playing Blade, Immortal Hulk, Voodoo, and Wong. I ended up playing Red Skull, the original, Mephisto, Wrecking Crew, and Enchantress. So, um, needless to say, the scoring went 3-4, my favor, 5-9, and then 6-15. Um, a big reason being is that the Wrecking Crew is now becoming more and more my favorite model in this game because they just do so much. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
Immortal Hulk got into them, but left them on one, and I had priority. So I started off with my Wrecking Crew, and I did the Indestructible, did damage, got a power from Red Skull, did the Indestructible again, same thing. And then I did the Pile Driver, which pushed Hulk, and then I played um, Stronger Together and threw Hulk long, and
Oh man.
that got him out of the fight like big time. And then I still had enough power left to go over and do a little bulldoze and get onto a point. So um, three actions a round is not a bad thing to have in your pocket. Actually, if
Yeah.
you think about the move, they actually got four. So it's just that they have to get up to that power, and I think Red Skull is the person that they need to be under to get there. The other thing is Mephisto got into Wong and Voodoo and Blade and Hulk, and he just obliterated people. Oh my God, he's under Red Skull, where his power is the same as Wrecking Crew, where he gets a gainer and then he'll gain one if he does damage. With all that power, he becomes a monster. He really does. So I beamed 3 times that game
Oh
with
my goodness.
with
Oh
three
man.
to- with 3 tokens each time. It was
Mephisto, I'm learning more and more just how much of a killing machine Mephisto is. Like, he really does a lot of work if
yeah.
you can get him power.
The only thing you have to do is keep Red Skull safe and let your other pieces in that faction work, and they're just getting power like crazy. So, needless to say, we had fun. He said, "Well, I can't hate on the models. I don't know them yet, but we're like I said, he didn't bring his collection, so we just kind of hobbled something together." But I was surprised that Wrecking Crew able to take on big guys like that, and I was surprised that Mephisto able to just delete things off the board. So,
Yeah. All right. Well, so you won all three of your games, it
oh
sounds
yeah,
like.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Okay, I'm glad that two of you got some games in. I look forward to playing games for the first time in what seems like about a month. uh, all right. Well, seeing as how the new Web Warriors, I should say, have come out, and we're all gonna need to be more in the know about what they do because many of us will likely be playing against them. Uh, Chance, I want to throw it over to you. Let's talk about this new card-based leadership and some about Amazing Spider-Man's leadership as well. Uh, let's start with the card. Um, why don't you start talking about that? I'm very curious to
Yeah.
see how this works.
Let me pull it up here. Spider Verse. What is it?
I got
Web of the Spider Verse.
That is correct.
Okay.
I've
Make
got. Do
sure
you
I
want me to
don't
read it?
miss.
I can. All right. So,
No,
Web of the
I
Spider.
just want to make sure I don't want to misquote anything.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's really good. I'm sure people have heard everywhere. Like they did an excellent job designing this new one because it really did is opened up a different way to play. It hasn't in any way like killed Miles One. That is still a perfectly viable, and it remains to be seen if it's actually the better way to play webs or not. I don't think so, but I don't like Miles One that much to begin with. So with all of the salt, but it is so useful. In every tabletop minis game I've played, mobility is always the best stat to invest in, and randomly you could get just it's the random part that really gets it for me. They it's just such a mental tax on your opponent because every action they take has to have the caveat of, well, what if this happens? Does this blow out the entire scenario that I've planned in my head?
They may not be there after I'm done
They
attacking
may
them.
not be there. So, for instance, in my Brotherhood game, I played against my local Josh. He loves Magneto Brotherhood, and he likes when he plays it. He likes to ramp up his throws. He grabs all the small stuff first to like try and chip away at you and get you to panic play brace. But he had to think about it occasionally because every time he forced the spiders to do a dodge roll, half of them are rolling like 6 physical defense over the course of their attack. And if any one of those are a skull, they can bump away. And for some reason, this leadership is not once per turn. So they can just keep doing it. And go ahead.
I want to real quick just read off what the effect is for those who are listening who aren't aware of it off the top of their head. So it is a passive ability that all Web Warriors characters will get if you are playing with this card. It is called Into the Spider-Verse. When this character attacks, defends, or dodges after the effect is resolved, if its roll contained one or more skull results, this character may place itself within range 1 of its current position. And that's it.
Yeah.
And it seems like a small effect, but it is not a small effect. It is a tremendous value.
Comes up a lot. There's many times I would get hit by one attack, roll a skull, bump into cover. The amount of times I see Baron Zemo, they'd charge into range. They'd hit you the first one, you bump out of range, and now they have to hit you with the spender instead, and they can't master swordsman. Someone displaces you, and then later on in the turn you get hit, you bump back onto the point or closer to the point. It's just range 1 is, it doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean if you play Midnight Suns, the range 1, it gets you places. Yeah,
it's a free
it's very
bump.
nice. It's really good. It was overwhelming when I was playing it for the first couple of times. It still is. Web Warriors are already a faction that have like a lot of moving parts. There's a bunch of not weird, but a bunch of reactive rules to remember. And with the additions of characters like Silk, and Ultimate Spider-Man, they just added more. And then you have to be on the lookout for these skulls, and then you have to like decide. There's plenty of decision points to make, and it's not always very clear. Like if you're just next to a building and bumping would give you cover, that makes sense. It's easy to bump and get you covered, but yeah, sometimes it gets confusing and overloading. Then you get into situations, specifically on Ultimate Spider-Man, as I'm sure we'll say later, he has a counterattack type effect, but it is at the same timing step as this attack. So if you roll a skull on the defense, you can like bank the skull, do his counterattack first, move closer, get the counterattack, and then if you roll the counterattack on the skull or get a skull on the counterattack as well, then you have 2 bumps banked back to back. It's a lot.
So what you're saying is if you roll a skull during the defense, you can choose to do the counterattack before you do the bump?
Correct.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, the counterattack and the bump are have the same timing step of after the attack is resolved. So you can take whichever one you want first. So
if you roll an additional skull in the counterattack, you can do 2 bumps immediately.
Yes. Yeah, because you take
silly.
the bump.
That's silly.
You take the bump for the attack, and then you take the bump for the defense roll you did a couple seconds ago. And that's after you moved within range. Yeah, it's an absurd level of just incidental movement, and all that happened on your opponent's turn. Like I had a couple of times where I forgot that it was my opponent's turn. I tried to put an activation token on Miles after they had just finished hitting me. It's just a lot of stuff going on. But it opens up a lot of avenues to you to make sure that your people are in the right spot. Also, some things that I would be normally scared about, it could just ruin. There's the whole thing with into Apocalypse. If you walk someone into a midline, APOC is to double tap you. That's not necessarily the case if you roll a skull in the first attack. You bump out of the way, and now APOC has to dirtle his second action. It's just you're gonna have to play it. You're gonna have to play against it or as it to really see how good / annoying it is to deal with it. But I think it's great.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of places. I have a couple of questions with the way that it plays out. So, if you are playing this leadership, does that mean that you cannot have Miles or Amazing Spider-Man on the table? Is that the case?
No, that's not true. As far as I'm aware of the
Okay.
rules, when you go to at the start of game, you pick an active leadership. Nothing says you have to pick one. So what you
Yes.
Okay,
do
so
is
you
you
can
just
just
put them
choose.
down. Yeah, you just choose. I'm not playing a leader.
You're playing leaderless, but you have a leader on
Yeah.
the table. But okay,
Yeah,
okay,
but
that's
their
interesting.
leadership's not active. As far as I'm aware, that might get forum ruling that it's different. But as far as I'm aware, you can play an affiliation and not pick a leader. Like you don't have to. You don't have to
That
take
is
either no Miles or no SM.
that is my understanding as well.
Right. It may get forum ruled, but as far as precedent goes, I don't think you have to pick one.
Okay.
And even if you did, I don't think I'm super upset about not playing either one of them. The only times I really played ASM was when I wanted to play his leadership, and I don't even have Little Miles in my list.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
Gentlemen, I have a question though, and this has to do with timing. So, if Emma Frost gets her trigger and she moves somebody within Mysterio's tricks and traps, does the bump go off first, or do the tricks and
No,
traps
it
go
tricks and
off?
traps. So,
That's
because
what
the
I
tricks and
thought.
traps are on the tail end of the movement, and the movement is on the tail end of the after attack, and the after attack means you finish yours because you're the attacker. So you do the attacker's move, and then the move is ending. That's what triggered tricks and traps. So it's on the stack. It goes, and then if the spider is still alive after all that, then they get to bump.
Correct. Okay.
Can he then tricks and traps off of the bump as well?
Oh yeah, yeah. Honestly, this leadership into spider foes might not be the way to go.
All right.
Every single one of those bumps triggers tricks and traps, and I don't know. I don't play enough Goblin. I don't know if it says movement or like advance, but
No, it says move, move, advance or place. So we
okay,
count the
yeah.
bump.
It probably was said place because he's meant to be the leader of the spider foes, and they all place all over the place. And then Electro is a nightmare for this leadership. Like I don't think you play the spider foes. That one might just be you play ASM leadership into that and see what goes on.
Yeah.
Or you dodge spider foes, but that's if they're playing
Okay.
Trap House.
That's my
Okay,
that's
well.
my favorite strategy in this game. Dodge what you're bad against.
Hey, I mean, spider foes, as far as I'm aware, at least in our local area, are not the most popular thing. It's a like, I mean, if you were trying to dodge Inhumans or APOC, you got a harder time there. But dodging spider foes, I feel that's a good ask.
No, not with me around. It's not. So
All right. Well, so that was the new card, but with all of the new models, a lot of them have a lot of cohesion with the Amazing Spider-Man leadership. So I feel like that's getting a bump as well. Do you want to say some words on that?
Yeah, I played it twice, and I felt good about it both times. I played it once into the mirror, and I think into the mirror it's great. And I played it the other into Defenders only because we were playing on Riots because it was on a D shape, and on the D, it is really useful. So webs are already a little bit faster than most factions, and turning it to a lot of bit faster is pretty good. I don't think the slow synergy nearly matters as much for the most part, with the exception of Silk, who really cares about people being slowed. I think the thing that is really good with the new models is once you play with them, most of the new Spider Friends models have good power economies for a web warrior, and that's what makes it better. The web warrior's economy, like I think Steven mentioned earlier, it used to be pretty tight. Um, I didn't feel that way at
Yeah.
all this weekend. Um, I played 2099 every game. That dude usually has as much power as he will ever need. He gets a bunch of power. Silk, if someone is slowed, will have all the power she will ever need. Um, Noir just doesn't spend power. He usually only spends power when he's getting hit, and it comes back to him. Ultimate Miles has, with his web swing, the 7-die builder. That gets him a lot of good power. I have no idea about Spider Ham. I threw that model into the sun. It's just spoilers. I don't have a high opinion of that model. But the rest of them generate power very well, and that is the bigger thing. I didn't really use a lot of the second half of it, where you could spend the slow to displace. I was pretty much using it just to gum people up with conditions. It's another thing the new Web Warriors box does surprisingly well, is once they start getting into like the 3-4 power zone and they can start doing spenders. The Asgard player I played, he was complaining because he thought he was playing APOC with the amount of conditions that they were throwing around. It's just it's a silly number of tokens.
Yeah, they have a lot of conditions that they put out now.
Yep. Yeah. If you start dipping into spenders, they're gonna load you up with conditions, and they're not incidental. It's not like bleed everywhere. It's good conditions. I think 2 of the new ones got stunned before damage on their spenders, which is nuts.
Oh, yeah,
It's great. But the big thing with ASM is on those wider maps. I think it's a tech piece. You're not ASM shouldn't be your core plan, but into other teams who are relying on leveraging speed, into the webs mirror. Who else is fast in this game? I don't know. I would do it into Wakanda, just so that King T gets sad.
King P hates being slow. Can
Yeah, he's
confirm.
not a fan. Basically my plan for King T would be I'd slow him and I'd leave. That was how I dealt with defenders. I slow Shang-Chi and I left because now suddenly it takes him in action, walking and charging to get from one D point to the other. Um, and he's nowhere near as scary if he only gets to make one swing. Um, and just run the bases, which is something webs were already doing, but now they can afford to pay for the slows and make you worse at running the bases. And I don't think it's ever right to like shake a slow. Shaking slow feels terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes, it does.
There's niche cases. There's niche cases for everything. Like if you're left where you need to be on a point, and there's nothing better to do at the end of the turn, go ahead. But most of the time, you just take it on the chin and then wait until you daze. And then into the web's mirror, it's nice just to be able to deny the wheat cakes as the answer to all webbed up. Being able to point at someone and slow them to get the benefit of webbed up is very nice.
Yep. That's I agree. When I was playing Web Warriors, I found that there were matchups where Amazing Spider-Man's leadership was what I wanted more than Miles's.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, that would probably more so be the case now that there are new models to play with. So,
yeah,
I've thought about dipping back into Web Warriors. I'm not going to, but I've thought about it with the new toys that they're getting to play with.
I might be riding the Web Warriors train for a little bit. There not only did it feel strong, it felt really fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's something that we're all going to have to deal with is people playing Web Warriors with all of these cool new toys. So, thank you for lifting the mood about how cool this stuff is going to be. All right. The person that we are here to cover today is the new Miles Morales, Ultimate Spider-Man. Uh, his stats, he has 4 physical defense, 4 energy, and 3 mystic. He has 6 stamina on the front of his card, but only 5 on the back side of his card. He's a threat value of 4, size 2. He is a long mover on a small base, and he is affiliated with the Web Warriors affiliation. Brad, why don't you do his attacks?
He has 3 attacks. His first attack is a physical swinging strike, range 3, 5 dice, cost 0. After attack is draw, gain damage for the gain power for the damage out. There we go. Wild Web up. After this attack is resolved, the defender gains the slow special condition. Then, if the defender is range 3 or less, this character may push it towards this character short. Uh,
Size 3.
oh, that is size 3, not range
Yeah,
3.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Energy Stun Web. Range 4, 4 dice, cost 0, gain 1 power. After attack is resolved, if this dealt damage, the defender gains the stun special condition. And then Energy Mastered Venom Blast. Range 2, 8 dice, cost 4. After damage is dealt, the defender gains shock and stun special conditions. And Wild Electric Arc. After this attack is resolved, choose a number of enemy characters within range 3 of the defender equal to or less than the number of wild results in the attack roll. The chosen characters suffer 2 damage.
I'd like to clarify that is before the damage is dealt on the stun and shock. So they would not gain power for damage, or they would only gain 1 power for any damage that this 8 dice attack does. Okay. Steven, why don't you do the first 2 of his superpowers?
All right. First, we have an active. It is Web Swing, costs 2 power. Place this character within 3 of its current position. The next time it makes a swinging strike attack this turn, add 2 dice to the attack roll. The superpower can be used only once per turn. Reactive. You did you. Now I'm doing my thing. Costs 2 power. After an attack targeting this character is resolved, this character may use this superpower. This character advances towards the attacker short. Then, if the attacker is within 2, this character may make a swinging strike attack targeting it. The superpower can be used only once per turn.
Okay, and Chance, why don't you finish out the card?
Yep. So we got Ultimate Spider Sense. This character can reroll skull results in its defense and dodge rolls. This character may also reroll up to 2 of its net defense or dodge dice. Then it's got stealth and wall crawler, and then on the backside he's got 1 less hit point.
Yep, yep. Oh, okay. So that is Ultimate Spider-Man. Let's start with Steven. Steven, what are your thoughts here on the new Miles Morales? What do you think about this package as a model?
I've only played against him, and I'm not sure that he was utilized to his full potential. Looking at the card, he looks like he can be very scary and daunting. However, he only has 11 health, right? So you got to figure out ways to get past that defense, and if you can, I mean, sometimes you can just roll out and not get. He's going to feel godlike against people who can only do 1 or 2 successes on their attacks. He's going to feel a little bit like paper if people do spikes into him, like, oh, I don't know, Gambit, right? Under Steve 3, oh, I rolled a hit, I get a wild, I get another wild, and all of a sudden you have 4 hits, right? So exactly what Doc Ock did to him, so against those people who put out like rapid fires, he's going to be very good against those people that have potential to get very, very high results in their dice in their dice rolls. I think he's going to be a little bit paper thin. So.
Okay. I think that that's the same issue with the previous Miles. I think that this one has a better defense than the previous previous Miles did, because his rerolls will work on Mystic. He is weaker against Mystic, but it's only because he has 1 less defense. And I feel like all those rerolls that he'll get are gonna feel real good when if you're the web player.
But defense dice are an illusion.
Yeah. That's okay. Brad, what do you think about Ultimate Spider-Man? Just off the top here.
He gives up one of the things that you play regular Miles for, which is a extract steal, to be way more offensive. and he gives out tons of conditions. There's just so many conditions here. Um, it, he's definitely tougher to take down than Miles. Um, just mathematically, there's no question about that. And with that spender, like if some people are grouped together, he can put out a ton of damage.
Oh
I
yeah, that arc, that electric arc, that will
Yeah,
do harm. That will harm things.
I don't know what to think about him because I think I I really like what original Miles brought, and so it's really hard for me to compare to that because I have a high bar for him to try to clear.
You're fond of the previous Miles.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
You're comparing him to the previous Miles. I feel like
yes.
this he doesn't even fit in the same, like he's not the same category
And that's
piece.
why it's really hard to evaluate him
Yeah.
based on the other one.
I no,
Yeah,
I get it.
it's not worth making the comparison. For me, they're built for different things. Miles One is clearly built for his own wide web strategy or his own traditional the tried and true web strategy we have. This one is more built for the ASM and card leadership, and obviously not they have the same name. They can't intersect. Um,
Right. I
I and
just
I don't.
I just don't know if it's worth it. I really need to see
Mhm.
him more. I've only seen him on the table once, I think, and he was pretty good, but 2099 was and Nor were the stars
Ugh,
of those show.
2099. Yeah, that's the man of my dreams right there. I love that guy. Web
Well,
Whip
Chance.
is a thing that they put in the game.
Well, Chance, what you are the person who has the most experience with Ultimate Spider-Man. Why don't you tell us more about him? What are your thoughts here on this on his base card?
So on his base card, my vision is skewed. I think 2 out of the 3 games I played with him, he had Wong helping him. So there is that to be considered. Is I was able to web swing on turn 1. Um, so one of the contrasting pieces with Miles and kind of the card leadership. I don't know if we touched on it, but one of the benefits of the card leadership. I keep putting up quotation marks, but it's an audio format. Um, you can't kill it, so it's always there.
Mhm.
Miles is pivotal to the durability of the rest of your Miles, and if you're bringing things like Baron Zemo, some of it's their damage, which means you kind of have to play cagey with him, because if something scary gets close to old Miles, it probably does just kill him. Like he's not that durable,
Right.
even with all his rerolls. Uh,
He's
this
fragile. He's
Miles,
fragile as a piece of paper.
he's not that fragile, but he's not unstoppable. He's not Juggernaut. He's not flipped Colossus. He will go down with enough attempts. This
Hmm.
Miles is more aggressive, insanely fast, and doesn't come with the caveat of he is keeping the rest of your models mostly healthy. Um, so I just he's so fast. The ability to move long, place 3, and then attack with a 7 die at range 3 that displaces is insane. He goes so far. And maybe then also pull someone off a point if you didn't just kill him. Interacting with this model is a nightmare, especially under the new leadership. If you want to double tap him, you have to make sure you're close to him, because if he bumps outside of 3, he has stealth, and you can't hit him anymore. Even if you have rapid fire, you can't finish the second one. But then there's also the consideration of if you do hit him, he might just run straight at you and then pull you out of position because you hit him on your turn. I had that happen once. Someone's Black Cat took a swing at him, trying to just take a little bit of damage off him because he was in a bad spot, and it whiffed. I walked past him onto the point, and then pulled Black Cat through Miles off of the point and gave her slow. And then
Uh-huh.
she was kind of stuck out there. Like, it's not likely that it's going to happen. I don't know what the odds of a wild on 5 are. I think it's like 50 or something.
But I mean, that's definitely something that your opponent has to
But
take
yeah,
into
it's
consideration.
just
Yeah.
right. It just attacking this model feels like a nightmare, just because there's so much that can go wrong. Like, sure, you could just one shot him. It's Marvel, but you could do 1 to 2 damage and then get pulled out of position and then also only have Miles to hit. He could move to range 2, pull you short, and then also have rolled 2 Scald and then bumped like outside of 3. Like, it's just it's under the new leadership especially, so much goes up in the air trying to interact with this model. And then say you do successfully daze him, if they come back with priority and you don't kill him, he has 6 health, so taking 6 health away means he gets to web swing and then spender someone and then web line kick someone. So that's a range 3 place, 8 dice, and then a 7 die into someone, and also the arcs that could happen. It's just it doesn't. I'm never scared about dazing 3-threat Miles. It usually is the goal. What's he gonna do? Hit me with a 7 dice and take my thing? That's fine. I'll just kill him harder the next time. But into this Miles, I'm just not thrilled with all of the random slot machine, like more so than normal in Marvel, that could happen for trying to interact with him. And then on top of that, he can be anywhere on the board and still interact with things because he's, even for a web warrior, very fast.
I so I was when I was looking at this guy, my thoughts were kept going back to the previous Miles and how good the previous Miles felt when he moved medium, did a jump, and then hit someone with a 6 dice attack. This guy
Mm-hmm.
can move long, do a range 3 place, and hit someone with a 7 dice attack. So all of that is just better. He can also displace with that attack, which is
The old
out of,
Miles can displace, and it was a throw. Like
yeah,
the old Miles, there's
yeah,
potato there.
yeah, but it's still. I gotta say, this one, just looking at him, I really like this model a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
want to play him. This is why I kind of wanted to play Web Warriors. Is this guy and and 2099, but
Mm-hmm.
this guy is just. I really like how mobile he is. I was looking at this guy and thinking, I love him. I think he's
Well,
fantastic.
I think he's good enough. I am currently trying to splash him in Wakanda right now. Um, there's some gimmicky stuff you can do with Spirit to get him turn 1 web swinging and Panther turn 1 bounding, or King T'Challa, and you don't
Ooh.
have like so yeah so the 17 I have right now, because I don't like my 17 into Inhumans, is M'Baku, Okoye, King T, the usual works, and then if you splash him and Wong, it's 17, and turn 1 Wong passes a power to M'Baku, and then you Spirit, and then so it starts the game. M'Baku's on 0, Wong's on 2, everyone else is on 3 power. And then Wong walks up and goes to a back point or picks up something close by. And now you don't even have to have your opponent punch anyone. King T has 3 power, Miles has 3 power, and now you have 2 long movers. You have a long move, 7 die, which could potentially pull you closer, followed up by a long move bound to 8 die, reroll 2 or something like that. And it's a silly amount of midline pressure, and I don't know if it's the best thing you can be doing, but it's something I'm trying.
It certainly seems cool. It certainly seems cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there is a tactics card that is associated with Ultimate Spider-Man that we should talk about. That tactics card is called Brief Reprieve. It is Web Warriors specific active tactics card. Ultimate Spider-Man and any number of other allied characters may spend 1 power each to play this card. Each character that played this card may remove 1 special condition or 1 damage. Then each character that played this card that has an activated token may gain 1 power. So this is another heal or remove special condition effect for the Web Warriors to try and keep their fragile little hearts alive. And what are your thoughts here on this card? What do you think about this, Steven? What are your thoughts?
Which one against Fred? I'm sorry. I had a message on my phone.
That's okay. It's Brief Reprieve. Brad, why don't you give your thoughts on Brief Reprieve right now?
Brief Reprieve should not be a Web Warriors card. It should be a Champions card. That's clearly the champions on the picture.
Okay. I will take your word for it. I don't know who any of these people are on the picture, except for Miles.
Was it?
Miles,
Is it
you
like?
know who's on the left.
Is it Nova?
Uh,
I can't see the art right now. It's got the weird
Nova's in the
APOC art.
oh,
middle.
it's
Nova's in the
it's
middle.
the person on the left is Ms. Marvel.
And
Yeah,
then the
you're right. I
person
do
on
know.
the right just got a Marvel TV show.
I'm out of the
Is
loop
White
here, brother.
Tiger in it?
It's no, it's Ironheart.
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 Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Anyway, this is a good card.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is a card that will keep your Web Warriors alive longer, and that is what your opponent does not want to have happen. So, yeah, I think it's solid. It's definitely a solid card.
I think it's
Uh,
more than solid. This thing's insane.
okay.
Uh,
Well, talk about it. What do you think
if
about it, Chance?
so, back to the Miles 1 versus Miles 2 debate. This is another thing that helps Miles 2 because it is only him. And this card rules. It's more healing and condition removal, but it's versatile. You don't have to like it works into every team. It's not like Wheat Cakes where you have to conditionally play it. It is each model gets to pick. You don't have to pick the same thing for every model, condition or healing. It's refunded if they've already gone. There were a couple times where I was just like, I just need to weather the next turn. So at the end of the turn, I played Wheat Cakes and this card just to heal 2 off of all the webs, which is annoying as heck because most of the webs are kept back by the fact that their HP pools are low. And then the fact that the condition is any of them and that it can be played on anyone's turn, it's not Miles' turn. Miles just has to play it. So he just has to be awake. I had a couple of times where 2099 is staggered, and I use this card to pull the stagger off him so he can have a normal turn. Like, while this card is up, you can't stagger an important model. They'll just play the card. It is so, it's just so open-ended. There will be a time when this is super relevant. You can play it on basically Miles and one other model if that's what it calls for, or suddenly the entire, the floor of this is late game. All of the Web Warriors get to add 1 to their hit point pool. It's just useful. I think if you're playing Ultimate Spider-Man, you bring this card with him. It's just good.
Okay. All right. Well, I like it. I like it. I like hearing that this card is useful and usable. And you're right. Like, any time that you have stagger, you can just unstagger the model if you need to have them active. Like, that is such an effective. This is just Wheat Cakes, but better.
The
It's
Wheat
just a
Cakes
better.
is only better into the mirror because Wheat Cakes gets to do both. But
Right,
in any other
right.
situation, the versatility, you're right, it pulls through. It's just more useful.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Well, so you think this card is definitely a take?
Definitely.
I think I agree with you. If you have Ultimate in your party, that you're probably taking this card. Okay. And Steven, did you want to toss in about this card or?
Yeah, well, I think the most pesky condition that spiders can have is actually bleed because of the low health pools. So this being able to take care of that is a um, very good add to the Web Warrior pool.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, for spider foes, you have to run Vulture of all people, and he has to be within 2 of other people. Now he gets to play it
Oh,
for
yeah.
free, okay, but usually with the map so spread out now, that it's not going to work. So
You're talking about rejuvenation.
correct, yes,
Yeah.
because it can take,
Yeah.
but it can remove all conditions. I mean, there are situations, but you still don't run Vulture. That's the whole thing.
And you probably don't run that card either, even if you are running Vulture.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah, so this card, pretty solid. It's a pretty good card. All right. Well, we need to give a letter grade to Ultimate Spider-Man. So Ultimate Spider-Man, probably the worst thing on his card is that his name is Miles Morales, and I think that he probably doesn't want to play the same game as the other Miles Morales, so that's probably fine. If you're bringing Amazing Spider-Man or the new Bump leadership, this guy's your guy. You want to play him. He's so mobile. He's so fast. He hits like a truck, and he helps. I mean, he helps with displacement. He helps put out conditions. I like him a lot. I think that he's a solid A. I think he's a solid A. That's my take. Brad, what do you think about Ultimate Spider-Man?
Let's go with A minus.
An A minus. Okay, Steven, what do you think?
I'm at a cautious A minus. It could go up, it could go down, depending.
Okay, and Chance, what do you think about about Ultimate Spider-Man?
I think A minus is fair, only because he has brief reprieve. If it was just vanilla card, I'd give him a B, but brief reprieve is so good.
Okay. Well, that's our take on Ultimate Spider-Man. Hey, Brad, do you have any comic books that feature Miles Morales?
I sure do.
There's no way he's so
Yeah.
not in the limelight.
So this is Ultimate Miles Morales. So just some history. They created the Ultimate Universe in the early 2000s. That was supposed to be a new reader-friendly version of the Marvel Universe, so people could get on and read new stuff, and they don't have to worry about the history. And they did X-Men and Spider-Man and some others, but those were the two big ones. And Spider-Man was Peter Parker, and I've read it, and it's good. And then they killed Peter Parker. On TV, everyone saw it, knew that Spider-Man was Peter Parker now, and that inspired a kid who gets bit by a radioactive spider to take Spider-Man's place and become the new Spider-Man, and that's Miles Morales. And the comic you want to read is called Ultimate Comics Spider-Man by Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Patelli, and it's Miles Morales, son of a cop and a nurse, trying to live up to Peter Parker's legacy and feeling like he is failing all the time. And then
It's part of his likability is how, I guess. Okay, sorry, keep going.
Okay. And part of I was gonna say, and then eventually they smash the two universes together and barely save it. And some of the things they really liked from the Ultimate Universe they brought over to the regular universe, like Miles Morales. And that's it. So this is really the only series this character has shown up in.
Okay. So this is it. That's it.
That's it. All right. Were you gonna ask
All
me a
right.
question, Fred?
Well, no. I like Miles Morales a lot as a character, but all of my interactions with him as a character are either from the movies, the Across the Spider-Verse or Into the Spider-Verse movies, or the video game. Those are the only things that I've experienced Miles Morales in. However, I like him a lot. He's so inherently likable as a protagonist. He's kind of he's he's humble in a way that while not being humble at all. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but I don't know. I like him a lot. He's one of my favorite protagonists, I think, in the Marvel universe. Okay, and I guess that's it for the comic book recommendations. Um, the only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. So I was playing today a new video game that came out called Dispatch. So far, only 2 episodes. It is an episodic video game. It's very, very much in the pattern of Telltale games, where it comes out in a series of episodes. And right now, only 2 episodes are out. But both of those episodes feel extremely like the show Invincible, and they're very well acted and very well written. and I enjoy the game quite a bit. And it's about superheroes. It's a new superhero universe, which there seem to be a lot of those recently. And you are playing a person who has no superpowers, who is on the team dispatching superheroes and trying to keep them together as a team. And I think it's great. It's really good. And I can't wait until more episodes come out. But that is what I suggest that people do. They should play that game. It is very good. Brad, I think you would genuinely love this game. I'm saying that to
Yeah,
you, Brad.
probably.
I think you would. I think you'd like it a lot.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Well, thank you, Chance, for joining us today and talking to us about the new Web Warriors. Thanks to Steven and Brad for joining me to talk about Ultimate Spider-Man. And thank you for listening out there in podcast land. I hope that everyone out there has a wonderful rest of the week. Goodbye.